Jasmine, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. My name's Gabrielle. I'm the recreational therapist here. Have you ever worked with a recreational therapist before?
No, before.
Have you ever heard of a recreational therapist or know what they do or anything like that?
I've heard of them before, but I don't know exactly what they do.
Okay, so basically I'm here to just work with you over the next few months. Probably if we decide later in the session that you want to come every week, then we'll do that. And we'll just work together to kind of set some goals for yourself and figure out ways that we can work towards those goals and achieve them. So basically just the purpose of this intake interview right now is just for us to be able to get to know each other and kind of set a direction for our future sessions and where we want to go to work on the goals that you want to set for yourself. So first off, what prompted you to come seek treatment? Was it you or your family or?
I think my family, they really kind of like pushed me to like come here, and they kept like making it. They kept talking about it, and they were like, "You really need to go see someone. You have to." And I know I have like an eating disorder. Like I know I have problems with it, but like I think I personally could like fix it myself.
Okay, so you admit that you have a problem, you just think that you can deal with it on your own, you don't really need to be here?
Yeah.
Okay, so were you comfortable with coming today, or did you feel like you were kind of forced to be here?
I felt like I was a little forced that I had to come here.
Okay, are you feeling comfortable and everything?
I'm getting into it, yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's getting a little more comfortable.
Okay, so right now it's just a quick interview just to, find out what's going on and stuff like that. So it's nothing, and we can decide that we don't want to meet every week, or it's up to you. So
yeah.
I'm glad you're here now, and we'll just go from there. So how do you see your situation? You said you admit that you do have an eating disorder, so that's a good start. Do you think that there are things that make it worse, or anything that's happened in your past that you feel has caused it, or anything like that?
I feel like, when I was younger, I was a little on the chubby side, you know, like baby fat, like everyone has it. And I feel like people like back then used to just point it out all the time. Then I would see it and I would get very insecure about it. And I would think like maybe just like skipping a meal here and there would like make it go away, and like maybe it would fix it a little bit. I guess like that, and like stress like makes me like not have time to eat, or like I just can't.
Okay, so how old were you, do you think, when you started skipping meals here and there, or just start realizing that you weren't fully happy with your body or the way you look?
Probably like middle school time.
Okay, and did your friends have anything to do with that?
My friends didn't really know about it. It was more of like the people who would pick on me. They didn't really notice anything different.
And when you were in middle school and you started feeling bullied almost, did you talk to any of your friends about it, or did you just kind of deal with it yourself?
I'm more of myself. I didn't want to burden them with the with my problems that I feel like they wouldn't understand. Okay.
Do you feel like now it's easier for you to talk about it with people, or do you still try and deal with it just with yourself?
I mean, I feel like I could deal with it myself. Like I just don't find the need to talk about it. So like my friends and stuff, and my family is always asking to talk about it, and they want to talk all the time, but I'm just not ready to talk about it with them. I just don't want to.
So I'm definitely someone that you can always talk to about it. That's one of our goals that we can set, is being able to talk about it more and feeling more comfortable with your situation, how you can talk about it. Do you feel like you're more comfortable? Do any of your friends ever ask you about it, or like say anything like, "Hey Jasmine, why aren't you eating?" Or?
Well, my friends love to go out to eat. They love going to like different restaurants, like Chipotle, like everyone does, like, in high school, and like just like like Chipotle and all those restaurants everyone goes to. And I just sometimes stay back from it, and I'm like, "Oh, my mom's like cooking dinner tonight," or like, and they always ask like, "Why don't you come with us?" So I feel like they might sense it a little, but they've never like straight up asked. Right, okay.
And you've never felt like you want to just tell them what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, do you feel like you want to get to that point where you can talk to them about it, or are you better off with them just not knowing what's going on?
For now, I feel like it's better if they're not, because I feel like they'll feel that it's their fault that they didn't see it, or I just don't want to burden them.
You don't want to burden them?
The problem.
Okay. So that's another thing we can work on, is just making yourself feel more comfortable with realizing that it's not a burden on them, and they're your friends and they're your family and they're there to help you with these types of things. So that's something we could definitely work on and talk about. So what are some things that you feel are really important to you?
My friends are really important to me. I love being with my friends. I'm really close with like a lot of my coworkers. I love like exercise and working out. I'm a very like active, athletic person. Like I'm on my like school's volleyball team. Like I just love like I guess being competitive. Okay.
So that's something that we can use to our advantage in these sessions. We can do different activities and stuff like that and try and find ways that we can balance the exercise. Because I know coming into this, one of your parents' concerns was that you exercise maybe too much and you don't balance it with your eating, and that's maybe how we got here. So we can definitely work on finding ways to still use that exercise as a coping mechanism, but not too much to the point that, it's too much. So do you belong to any clubs at school besides volleyball?
I'm in a couple, yeah. National Honor Society. I'm a big book person.
That's awesome. Great.
This program called like Big Brother, Big Sister, where like
what's that?
It's like so for me, like obviously girl would be like a big sister, so I would take like a younger girl in like the community and I would just treat her as like if she was my younger sister, like kind of like mentor her and like lead her and like do activities with her just to make sure she like grows up well and like not with bad influences.
That's awesome. Do you do that every week, once a week? Or?
Usually like maybe we'll meet like on a Saturday morning when she doesn't have school, I don't have school.
That's awesome. And how long have you been doing that program?
A couple of years now. When I was younger I had a big sister. Now like I'm old enough where I can have like a little.
So you felt like having a big sister for you was really helpful in your life, so you wanted to. That's awesome. That's really great. So do you feel like when you're doing something like volleyball or the Big Brother Big Sister program or National Honor Society or anything that you're involved in, do you feel like it helps you cope with what's going on, or like does it help you forget about it at all? Or
it takes my mind off a little. Like when I'm playing like a match in volleyball, it's like I'm just thinking about the game and my teammates. I'm not thinking about myself. And then when I'm like I feel like when I'm with like my like little sister, like I don't really think about it. I'm just like hanging out with her.
Okay. Do you feel like your little sister could help you at all in this process? Do you feel like you would be able to, because obviously she probably looks up to you as a role model, do you ever think about that in terms of your eating disorder, or do you think that she doesn't really realize anything that's going on?
I don't know if she's like, I know she doesn't notice it, but like maybe it's because she's like at a young age that she doesn't like see it or understand, or I feel like just like being around her though can like really help me though. Yeah,
you think that it helps you to know that she looks up to you.
Yeah.
That's good. Are there any like current stressors in your life that you feel like might make your eating disorder worse or like trigger it at all?
My family's very like, they kind of stress me out a little. Like, I love them and all, and I love being with them, but sometimes lately it's just they force it a little too much.
And you don't want to talk about it, like you mentioned before. So that's hard. So we can definitely think about ways that we can try and help your family understand when you don't want to talk about it, and that maybe you can find ways to explain to them that eventually you might get to the point where you want to talk about it with them, but right now it's just kind of making it worse that they always want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So do you feel like sometimes you just don't want to be at home because you just don't want to have to deal with telling them you don't want to talk about it?
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, I'll go hang out with like my friends more of, because like they don't really know what's going on, and I feel like I can.
You guys just talk about other stuff.
Yeah, it gets my mind off of it, because I know they're not looking at me as she has a problem.
Right. And do you feel like you have a problem, or just something that you might need to work on?
I know I need to work on it, and I know it's not good for me, but I don't view it as a huge problem. Like,
that's perfect. That's an awesome starting point that you recognize that it is a problem, that's something you need to fix, but it's not necessarily something that's a huge deal, and it's definitely something that we can work on. So you told me about your social life and your home life, so that's good. Definitely goals there that we can start working on. Do you feel like you can be yourself around your family and friends, or do you feel like you have to kind of I know it seems like around your friends you can kind of hide that you have the eating disorder because they don't really mention it or talk about it, but I feel like around your family they're very direct about it. So which one do you like better?
I like being around my friends more. It's just, I feel like less on eggshells with them, I feel like.
Would you think it would be helpful to have your family be a part of any of our treatment sessions?
I think in the beginning maybe not, but like seeing how things progress maybe.
Definitely.
Maybe in the future, but like as of right now I don't see it.
We could definitely make that a goal, like a short-term goal, being able to include your family in part of this. Do you feel like there are other things in your life that your eating disorder is negatively or positively impacting? Do you feel like you do anything better because of your eating disorder or do anything worse?
Sometimes it's like on my mind a lot, like whether it's like when I'm looking in the mirror getting ready in the morning or just like at school and it's almost like lunch period and like, I don't know, just
so you feel like
sometimes it's on my mind a lot, but...
And that could does it affect your schoolwork at all or anything like that?
When I'm like in class, like not really, but then there's just like some days where it's just worse than others and it's more on my mind, I feel.
Are there any mornings or days that you wake up and you just don't want to go anywhere because you start getting ready in the mirror and you just get so upset you don't want to leave your room or your house? Or
sometimes I'll like, my friends will like be like, hey, let's go to movies or something or hang out on the weekends, and I'll just see myself and I'll just be like, I just physically just like can't like think about like bringing myself outside because I just feel like I look so gross or so like large or like I just can't like look at myself. So it's like, you know, I just don't want to go outside.
Okay.
Kind of.
So that's something that we could also work on, is just finding ways to know that you're not large and you're not anything anything like that, or you're not gross. So we can definitely find ways to make you feel more comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
So you talked about some specific triggers in your life and things that make you feel like you're focusing more on your eating disorder, like looking in the mirror and stuff like that. So are there any specific goals that you want to set for yourself?
Maybe finding out like better meals I can eat that aren't like very like fattening, like, you know, instead of skipping a meal, just like maybe there's like some like snack I can have that's like,
that's definitely a good,
not so fatty or something that'll make me feel really bad about
eating
or
it.
get guilty. Yeah.
Okay. So we could definitely try and work with a dietitian or a nutritionist or something like that throughout our treatment sessions. Because I'm obviously not qualified in that area, so we could definitely try and team up with her. I know there's one in this facility, so we could team up with her and we could, you know, make an eating chart or plan out some different meals, different snack ideas. That would definitely be a great idea.
Yeah.
So we could definitely do that. Is there anything else you think that I should know about you or you want to tell me or anything like that? Any questions?
Knowing about me, well, I mentioned like already, like I love my friends and like I do love my family. It's just sometimes they're just a little too much.
Are there anything, I know you mentioned like exercise and being involved in those clubs and stuff like that. Is there anything else you use to cope with when you get feeling like those days where you look in the mirror and you're not happy with yourself? Is there anything else you use to cope with that? Any substance abuse or anything like that?
I wouldn't say substance abuse, but like I've had like my friends have, obviously I'm in high school and people, like I've tried weed before. Sometimes it relaxes me, but sometimes I'll just like lay in my room and listen to music or something to help cope with it, or like I write in a journal sometimes, like when I just have so much on my mind, like that helps me a lot.
All right, so obviously the journal and the listening to music would be a better choice to cope with it than smoking weed, which I'm sure you know. But we can also find more ways than just that. Obviously exercise I feel like is something that makes you feel much better and makes you feel really good. So that's not something you have to stop doing, of course not. But just maybe balancing between when you shouldn't be exercising obviously 4 times a day or anything like that. So definitely something we can work on. Do you think that meeting with me and do you feel like meeting with me and going through these treatment sessions is going to help you, or do you still feel like you can deal with it on your own?
It'll help. I mean, it doesn't hurt, so
okay.
It's easier to talk to you, I feel, than like my parents.
Okay.
Or like them, or like I know I could eventually probably like help myself, but like it wouldn't hurt to just,
of course,
see you.
And it's good that you feel confident in yourself that there are some things that you can do on your own to help fix this. And they're also, your family definitely loves you and cares about you, and wants you to be here and wants you to get better. So they're obviously there for you, and they want to help you and they want to support you. So I feel like our main goal, if you agree, should be starting with working to communicate with your family and help them to understand that although you want them to be there, you don't want them to always be talking about it and always asking about it and be on you about it, because it just makes you even more anxious about it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And I definitely feel like, just from talking to you, maybe being anxious about the situation is something that you deal with also. So just we'll focus on that also, as being able to cope with it instead of getting so anxious that you want to leave the house or anything like that. So that's good. So if there's nothing else you need to talk about or anything else you want to mention, then I'm very happy that you came and met with me. I'm very happy. Do you feel like you want to meet every week? Do you want to start with that? Or it's totally up to you.
Yeah, once a week seems good with me, not too much at once.
Okay, and Fridays seem to work for you? Friday afternoons? Okay, perfect. So we'll meet here every Friday, and we'll go from there. We'll start working on our goals, and it seemed like we were able to highlight things that are super important to you, so we'll continue with those things, and we'll start working on those goals next week.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so much.